Well, good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Monday morning. It's the 31st day of July, 2023. Yeah, this last day of July. This is the morning briefing coming to you from my home weather office, where I look out the window from the home weather office and I do see blue sky and a few clouds. It's going to be another pretty good looking day. So we'll talk about the clouds. We'll talk about the possibility of mountain showers over the next couple of days. We'll talk about cooler weather. We'll talk about warmer weather. We are going to see a changeable week. But the thing I wanted to start with this morning is, well, the satellite. A lot of things going on here. We do have the marine layer in place, a couple of clouds going through the Sierra. But one of the things I wanted to point out was there's been a fire going on down here. We have a lot of cloud cover down in here. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was just how great the fire season has been. If you go to the CAL FIRE website, they haven't updated it as of yet today. So as of Friday, we had 22,000 acres burn across the state, which is well below average. But then over the weekend, there was a fire called the York Fire burning down in here. So Las Vegas is here, and you can see the smoke. I mean, this brighter white is clouds, but this haze in here is smoke. This fire burning in the eastern Mojave Desert, so high desert here, has burned 77,000 acres. So we went from having 22,000 acres burned statewide, and then all of a sudden we toss in a fire that has burned 77,000 acres. Now, of course, a fire in the high desert is quite a bit different than a fire, let's say, in Placer County. But keep in mind, I mean, this fire that blew up over the weekend has covered as much terrain as the Mosquito Fire did last year over the course of a couple of weeks. But you're talking about sagebrush and that sort of thing, that there isn't a lot of fuel, but it can spread very quickly and cover a lot of ground. So that's the haze you see in here. But the other thing, of course, is there's all this cloud cover down here. The monsoon certainly has kicked in. But as you go farther north, the clouds thin out, and so that over the Tahoe Basin and over the west slope of the Sierra, there are a few clouds here and there, but not all that much. And of course, we have some marine layer as well. Temperatures today will end up in about the same range we saw yesterday, mid, maybe upper 90s in some of the warmer spots, really not all that far from average. So let's talk about the changes we're going to see as we go through this week. We'll do that with the 500 millibar chart. And right now we have this familiar pattern of a trough in the western states, a ridge over the Four Corners. I mean, you just can't dial up a more typical summer pattern than this. I mean, if I had to draw up what our typical summer pattern is this right here. Cool in the northwest, high over the Four Corners. We have the southwesterly flow, and then we just kind of bounce back and forth in between. When the high goes a little farther west, we heat up. When the high goes farther east, we cool down. And so right now we're in between, keeping temperatures pretty close to average. Over the next couple of days, we'll see another trough come our way, and this troughiness sends that high from the Four Corners down to Texas. And that will keep this is into a Wednesday night. But also a little vorticity here may give us the chance of some showers and thunderstorms in the Sierra that I'll talk more about in a minute. But this pattern right here will keep temperatures below average. This is Thursday. We could even see some valley temperatures stay in the 80s, which we haven't done in 3 weeks. And that little trough right there, that's Friday afternoon. That would also make Friday a relatively cool day. But underneath that, the high is beginning to kind of nudge a little bit farther west. And, we talked about this last week with some of the extended models, and this looks a lot different than it did last week. But still, there's enough ridging here that we'll likely see some heat into the next weekend, especially Sunday, Monday. But it doesn't look excessive. Yeah, we may see temperatures as high as 105 or something like that. But the earlier models were way off the charts. So the latest models certainly look a lot more reasonable in terms of heat for next weekend and early next week. And then beyond that, there's another cool pattern. This is into Thursday, the 10th. So this is about a 10 or 11 day forecast and more troughing, which would keep us into more mild weather. So yeah, there's some heat in the forecast, but nothing too excessive, it looks like at this point. All right, so I showed you that area of moisture, the area of cloud cover down south. So what about getting any showers or thunderstorms our way? This is the HRRR model, and this is this afternoon. the HRRR isn't very excited about anything this afternoon. There may be some activity down toward, let's see, where would that be? Bishop, maybe? But very, very little. But notice down around Las Vegas, north of Lake Havasu, some big thunderstorms there, classic monsoon pattern. And then this is Tuesday morning, and then Tuesday afternoon. This could be our most active day. This is Tuesday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Notice where the activity is. It's not in Tahoe. It's certainly not in Plumas County, which is great news. But we are seeing activity once again to the south and to the east, and it looks as though that's where it's going to continue. And then this is on to the day on Wednesday. The same thing, areas south of Yosemite, down toward Kings Canyon, and then all the way down toward Death Valley, we would see the chance of showers and thunderstorms. That's the HRRR that goes through Wednesday morning. I'll show you the NAM Nest, which will be a slightly different solution, but still it maintains the same idea that the activity stays south of Tahoe, getting into the day on Wednesday and that's Wednesday afternoon. So we had been and will continue to be watching for the possibility of thunderstorms in the Sierra. But it's looking as though most of it is going to be on the east side of the Sierra. Highway 395, maybe as far north as Alpine County, so Markleeville, Monitor Pass, that we may see some thunderstorms there. But really, it's going to be farther south, south of Walker, maybe down toward Bridgeport, Bodie, those sorts of areas may see some thunderstorms. The good news here is that we're not going to see, most likely not going to see that activity into Plumas County, because of course the fear here is lightning strikes. We just don't need lightning strikes and the fire danger that goes with them. So bottom line is today, another nice day, kind of like what we had over the weekend, warm but not too hot. And then we see cooling through the middle part of the week. And while we'll likely see some hundreds again over the course of the weekend, right now anyway, it doesn't look as though it's going to be excessive. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. I'll be in the office in a suit and tie at 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 11. And so that's what I've got for you. Have a great day. I'll talk to you later.